Wait, I have to
Ta-da!
sneeze again.
Don't you dare.
No.
We all get to say a collective fuck you if he sneezes. Do not bless this man.
Wow, damn. Collective fuck you. Never heard a collective fuck you before.
I had to make it up. I don't know. It
Alright.
just came. It flew
just
right
came
out.
to me.
It sounded right. It felt right.
It came
It
to
was
me
my
like
moment,
so
man.
many things come to me.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. After sitting here looking like an idiot for a little bit, and then be like, words.
No. Just stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
I am.
When you're home, we're in your head. Lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV. Turn off your mind.
There, I'm not breathing into the microphone all heavily because I'm
Good.
so fat.
Good fucking job. You guys missed that, but we recorded 2 minutes before we started this, and you breathed into the mic really heavy. Welcome back, everybody.
Hi.
We are Soul of a Gamer. I'm like, what do I do next?
I don't even know.
I'm Scott,
I'm Steven.
and every week we come at you with a game we play, and we tell you about it.
Yeah, we do.
Before we go on, let's get some... I keep saying house cleaning, and it's housekeeping.
Yeah.
Housekeeping.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was wondering. I
I'm
was like, this
always-
doesn't sound right, but I don't know what to
I'm
say.
always teetering on it. I'm right there, but I'm not quite there. But housekeeping...
Housekeeping.
We're going to check our website out, soulofagamerpodcast.com. Check us out and email us at soulofagamerpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook page, everything, guys. Come on.
Yes,
Hit us
please.
up on whatever. I'm not sure why that matters, but it does. Leave us a review if you are so kind to do. And yeah.
That would be super helpful.
Yeah, I don't like spending a lot of time on doing that every week, so that's all we'll do.
Fair.
It's super helpful. Just know that. But also, you're here to listen to an episode, not here to talk to us. Listen to us talk about our fucking social media platforms.
Yeah.
So let's just start this right out. Let's go.
Are we in?
Did we even say the game?
Oh no! If that's what I forgot, I know. So last week's game, we hope you enjoyed it. It
Yes.
was
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake, and
Yes.
this week's game is
Rollerdrome.
Rollerdrome. It's like a mix between Tony Hawk and Mad Max. I think we said that last time.
Max Payne.
Whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I kept calling Max
No,
Payne
it's
Mad Max.
not even close to the same. Mad
It's the
Max, Max Payne,
same
two
fucking
different.
thing.
No.
It's the
No.
same concept, same movie,
Definitely not the same game in the
same
slightest.
everything.
And we
All
have
right.
Max Payne coming up on the list. So.
Yeah, so it's the same as
Mad Max,
Tony
I mean.
Hawk and Mad Max. So just so you guys know.
Yes. But yes, as you probably heard, we skipped the back of the box because there really isn't a box for this. There's some cover art that they made on Steam, but that's about
Oh, the
it.
cover art's amazing, though. I would have talked about that. It looks like fucking Star Wars.
It does. It's very 80s reminiscent or 70s.
Yeah. I mean, I would have
Yeah.
went into a game shop and definitely picked that up.
Oh, 100%.
I would have been like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Because it's so cool looking. It is. They did a really good job with that cover art, just to give them some props there.
Oh, yeah.
So, what are we on? I can't hear them.
Jamming.
Oh, okay. Like, I can't hear what we're doing. Guys, there are no voice actors in this, really. There's, interlude parts with a little bit of voice acting. That's, people talking on the radio, an overhead announcer. But they didn't even get credits in the game when I went and looked up their cast, which I thought was interesting. Not enough credits for me to find the cast, I guess, or for anyone to give a shit of who those people were. None of the main characters talk. There's literally no speaking in the game. There's grunting from people dying, I think, a little bit, but not a crazy amount.
Okay.
So there you go. There's the voice cast. The composer for this game, it's got the coolest name. I don't know if this is a person or a group, but
Okay.
I hope it's a person. It's Electric Dragon.
Oh, nice.
I hope that's just a single person calling
That'd be awesome.
themselves Electric Dragon, because that's really cool.
Yes. it is.
I did really like the music in this game, though. It was really, really on point for what you were doing at all
Yeah.
times.
Like the synthwave kind of music.
Yeah.
It's very like Hotline Miami with the music.
Yeah.
If you ever played that.
Um,
It is really good though. Like it keeps you like thrilling throughout the match every time.
The only thing I could say to do better would be to do what Rocket League does and add like those like really cool weird songs that you've probably never heard before. They just
True.
pick like weird what are they, like clubby songs?
True.
Like ravey songs.
Yeah, I mean club, rave, those are
yeah.
I mean electro.
Yeah.
Techno.
So similar. Like I would have loved
House.
to pick some of those like bigger songs that people do of those variants and maybe throw those in somewhere. But besides that, I mean, the music was pretty
True.
much perfect.
Yeah, and I am kind of curious because there's we'll talk about this more in story, but there is kind of a secondary story for like a hard mode of the story, and it actually revamps the entire soundtrack. So I'm kind of curious to go through it again just to hear the revamped soundtrack.
Yeah, I didn't bother doing the secondary whatever.
I didn't either.
I really wish they would have like been more obvious about who the voice cast was, because what you heard from the voice cast was, it's pretty acceptable. Just like the radio signals and the overhead speakers and stuff, and like I thought it was
the
cool.
Announcer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good, but yeah, it's just kind of sucky that they didn't really like push their cast on there too much.
True.
It wasn't
I
on
really
IMDb at the very least.
Interesting. I did enjoy a lot of the sound effects and stuff in this too. A lot of the guns sounded nice, the explosions sounded nice, the lasers and stuff.
Yeah, they all sound nice. Explosions always sound nice.
I mean, there's some pretty shitty explosion sounds in some games.
People dying always sound really nice. But yeah, I agree. I think they did a really good job just keeping up with with what they were doing. Like, it didn't sound like it was lazy work. It didn't sound like they found a shit file online and threw it in the game. They really did a good job, like, making this sound pretty good.
Oh yeah.
So I'll give this pretty good props. They did a really good job for how simple it was.
Fair. No, seriously.
This is a game again where the main character doesn't speak, but that's okay because no one else fucking speaks either. You know?
Yeah,
It's that kind of thing.
I think this is a development team of 40 people.
Yeah, that's what it said at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like 44 or 48 people or something like that. I'm like, okay. Don't know why you had to say that, but whatever.
I think I saw somewhere that they also did the game Ollie Ollie World.
Yeah.
Which is another hit indie like skateboarding game actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was noises for me. You got anything else?
No, that's all I got.
You got it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
How does it play?
Alright, so controls and gameplay for this game.
First off, this game is by Roll7.
Yes.
Roll7, like Steven said, they don't do a lot of games. They have a few up here. I mean, they had like a lot in a very short period between like 2008 and 2012. And then they kind of slowed down, and I'm guessing they just like started working on their own personal shit. So it went from like releasing every year to releasing every other year.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know any of these. Ollie Ollie is a game, which I'm guessing is a skateboard. It looks like a skateboard game. Ollie Ollie 2, Welcome to Ollie World.
Yeah.
Not a Hero, again, just looks kind of like a shitty game. Laser League.
Oh,
Back on Ollie World. They do a lot with this Ollie thing.
Yeah, which I know one of our friends, Trevor, actually really loves the Ollie World series.
What a fucking loser. That's okay. Gameplay in this game, actually really cool. You get lost playing this game super easy.
It's smooth as hell.
Sorry, lost as in like lost in the gameplay, not like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here.
Yeah,
but you get lost in the gameplay super easy in this because it's like Tony Hawk, like that feeling you got from just doing tricks in Tony Hawk and trying to keep your combo going, and then that added thing of just being able to like do a trick, freeze. You have a freeze time thing kind of in here, or slow time down, just like we said in Max Payne 2. And it works really well. They did an amazing job with the slow time thing. This is the best one I think I've ever had the pleasure of playing.
Yeah, I mean, this and Super Hot have the best like slow down time mechanics.
So you have that. You can do a trick, slow time down, get a quick shot off of your gun to kill someone to add to your combo. It's a really interesting concept for a game, and it really played out well in this game, I think.
I have to agree. Like, everything felt great with this. The gunplay felt great. The rollerblading felt great. The doing tricks and grinding felt great. Like,
Yeah.
it really did. And on top of that, being able to actually work in challenges like they did from Tony Hawk Pro
Yeah.
Skater and make that how you progress through the story, just like you did in the old school Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, like, that was so brilliant, honestly.
Yeah, and I liked how the challenges weren't impossible, you know?
True.
Like, I went
There's
through
a couple
the
that are
first...
hard.
I mean, I went through the first 2 worlds, and I got all the challenges done for both worlds, and then that way
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about getting challenges done for the last 2 worlds.
True.
So, you know, and that was really nice, and it was easy. Like, honestly, it was not bad at all. The only challenge I didn't do is on the first world, last level, you have, like, a challenge that you have to beat it in a certain time, and I don't know how you do that, but I'm sure, like, there's a trick to it or something.
Oh, yeah. I never did beat the time on that one either.
Yeah. But for the most part, this game was actually, like, extremely well done with its gameplay. I have no complaints about it. Like, there was no point where I was sitting there, like, fuck this part of the game, fuck this part. Like, levels are a little hard, but they're supposed to be. Like,
Yeah. I will say after the first 4 levels, there is a little bit of an incline in the difficulty a little bit.
yeah, but that's normal.
And the challenges do get harder. Well, I mean, and it should. I mean, it's this giant tournament, and you're in the semifinals and finals and stuff at those points. So I understand why they did it, and I don't think it's too steep of a difficulty spike, but there is a definite spike. Like, you go from really easy to, like, oh shit, this is getting hard.
Yeah. One thing that's cool about this is the weapons. You get 4 different weapons in here unlocked at different phases of the game. You get dual pistols, a grenade launcher, a shotgun, and like a laser rifle, I would call it.
Yeah.
Like, and the laser rifle is badass. And
It
what's
really
really
is.
cool is when you go back and you replay the original ones, you keep your weapons that you had from the new weapons you've unlocked. So you get to do them a little easier than you did before.
Yep.
Which I thought was really cool. Like, that was like a great idea by them. And the laser rifle was really useful because you could kill people from really fucking far away.
And it was really powerful because it had that extra charge shot.
Yep. So, and I thought that was cool. I thought it was really cool that you could kill people from that far without having to aim down a scope, too.
Yes.
Like almost a heat-seeking variant thing, which I thought just was interesting, you know?
And I mean, good physics with the grenade launcher and stuff too, but
Yeah.
not too hard to learn the aiming and stuff on the guns.
Yeah.
The slug shot on the shotgun is like my favorite thing in this entire game. That thing is so epic.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job with this game, honestly. This gameplay in this was not, like, I don't think they could have done anything to make it better. Maybe add more tricks, I guess. But even that, they had plenty of tricks.
Well, I guess I do. The one thing I do say that I wish I could do is I wish that you could change the control scheme, because I wish that I could actually use the D-pad for tricks.
Why?
Because that's what I always did in Tony Hawk. It's just easier for me to hit the combinations of like left, right, or up, down, or. And it is, but I wish I had that option, because I know I would have played it better if I would have been able to switch
the
that.
controls.
It wouldn't let me, because it let me switch a button to the D-pad, but it wouldn't let me like flick the thumbstick as a button command that I keep.
Why would you need to flick the thumbstick?
So to like move my character forward, I would have to press forward on the thumbstick. So I would like try to change the command.
Oh, I see. So
and it wouldn't let me use the thumbstick as a command. Like I couldn't
see.
ever make the thumbstick a command.
I see. Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is like per person, but mostly that's fine. The tricks weren't the important part of the game. And
They weren't.
I think that's what they were trying to show you by not making it like too changeable.
But I mean, there's like an achievement for doing every trick in a run, and it's hard for me to do every trick in a run if I can't.
There's 72
hit the buttons
of them.
Yeah, and
to do
the
every
button
wall
combinations
ride.
are really hard. Yeah,
Yeah, and then the button, but well, mostly it's just like side or upside.
I
or
know it's hard for me to do
downside.
that on a thumbstick. That's why I need the D-pad. Like that's just how I always played the Tony Hawk game, so it's ingrained in my brain. I have to relearn the game if I want to do it the other way.
Yeah, but it was cool. I mean, the game itself is really, really cool. So,
it is.
So yeah, that's the gameplay. I mean, that's all I have to say. I think it's like mostly perfect.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
Let's go to the story then.
It's story time. Let's get started.
Read us a story, Scott.
Alright, so there's like almost no story in this.
I know.
Really, but like the background story sounds really cool. I really wish they would have fleshed that out a bit, but
Yeah.
Rollerdrome takes place in a universe where the sport of guns and roller skates is the most popular one in the world. The story follows Kara Hassan, a rookie skater. She has to take out a huge loan in order to compete. She has to do tricks while taking out house players. House players are people hired to try and kill the skaters. They all have huge life insurance policies due to the fact the skaters are also trying to kill them. As you traverse the game, you learn about the other skaters, Morgan Frey and Casper Ix. They are the only ones who seem to matter too much. Morgan Frey is the previous year's champion and is assumed to be the best there ever was at the sport. Casper is Morgan's enemy and wants nothing more than to beat them. Casper makes a deal with the corporation to increase Morgan's difficulty while lessening his own. This works out and Morgan is killed. Casper all but assumes he will win at this point. During the contest, there are many protests over corporation misconduct in the world. It is always a theme in the background with many riots taking place. By the end of the game, you are the winner and Casper sulks. You gain a trophy and become the first ever rookie to win the championship. That's
Wahoo.
it. There's not a lot to the story, but the background of it seems like it's really cool. I really wish they would have fleshed that out a little bit more.
True.
But I don't know if they do that more in the hardcore mode where you get a little bit like extra shit.
Maybe that's the maybe. And then there is like little tiny segments in between some of the missions where you get to like walk around and you can like read like a newspaper or watch a slideshow on a projector.
Yeah.
Or like snoop through someone's locker and find a file where they like got emails from the corporation saying like, hey, don't worry, we made this last level extra hard, so Kassan's definitely gonna die and you'll win.
Yeah. There's like little notes there. It's not crazy though. They're not really adding too much to the story because you never meet Casper, you never meet Morgan. I think it would have been really cool if you actually met them. They're always there. Like you hear them talking sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear Morgan's like a member of the Resistance or whatever. That was pretty clear up front.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be cooler if like maybe at some point you actually met them to get some characterization, but for some reason they didn't seem to want to do that.
True. I mean, I wish we had more.
Yeah, maybe animating those characters and your own as a specific character was hard.
Maybe. And I mean, the game's great without it. I just was so intrigued by it that I want more.
Yeah, you almost like want them to do a follow-up game just to like maybe tell Morgan Frey's story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, or maybe you play as Casper or Morgan one of the next times, like their first championship or something.
Yeah, it sounds like Casper's really bad at the sport too, guys. Like
probably
he's only doing well because he's like getting a way easier time because he made that deal with the corporation, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like the Hunger Games with the sponsors.
Yeah,
dropping down items and stuff for him.
That's what it seems like almost.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the game's story is actually kind of nice that it's not too complicated because you can get through it super fast and just have fun doing the gameplay, which I think we said the same thing about Prototype. The story, like, is there, but it's the least fun part about the game, you know?
It's just the gameplay.
Yeah, the gameplay just kills it so much that the story is kind of in the backdrop doing whatever it's doing while you're just fucking around killing a bunch of people.
Which, I mean, is totally fair. And there's times, like, we've always said it needs to have one or the other. And if it has both, that's extreme. That's, like, the best pinnacle of games. But, I mean, if you have one or the other, you can get through a game. And, honestly, with everyone talking so much about how long games have to be, I really like to appreciate the games that are shorter. I love a good 5-hour game sometimes. Like, it's just great to get through.
I mean, so Steven said this before. I haven't actually heard anything about people complaining about how games are too short now. I have heard.
Well, a lot of people talk about like,
opposite.
especially with the new Call of Duty. Like their newest campaign was only 3.5 hours long.
Yeah,
it was
normal.
even joked about by the God of War voice actor at the Game Awards that his last year's speech was longer than the campaign this year's Call of Duty campaign. Like, it's a thing that a lot of people are talking about. Like, a lot of people are saying a game's not worth $70 if it's not 30-plus hours. a game's not like I'm not gonna play a game for only 10 hours. Like I want a game that I'm gonna put 150 hours in if I'm paying $70. Like a lot of people are still complaining about the price for the amount of content you get.
I guess, but the price is like way lower than what it costs to make the game. So people are complaining for almost no reason. It sounds like.
Well, and cost per hour. I mean, like a game like this, max cost I think is $20.
Yeah.
And if you get 5 hours of entertainment with it, that's less than $5 an hour. Like that's cheap. That's cheaper than going out even to dinner. That's going to cost you $50. Dinner movie is $100. Like $20 for 5 hours of entertainment. That's a steal.
Yeah, and that's more though if you decide to go back and just do all of the shit.
Well, and it's honestly
hardcore mode.
It's a game that I'll go back to and just play when I have nothing to do or if I have a half hour to kill. It's a good game to just kill a short amount of time.
Yeah, I don't really care about all that, how long it takes to play a game or whatever. I thought it was funny. I don't know if you saw this, but Sony made their own awards show.
No, I didn't see this.
So they made their own awards this year because Spider-Man didn't win because they're big fucking crybabies, and I think that's. Really
I'm a crybaby about that shit. That's
I don't.
fucking
But it
sad,
doesn't matter.
dude.
Like Baldur's Gate was a universally loved game too. So if you compare the two, it's almost impossible to because both of them are almost equal. So I'm sure it was a bare hair that Baldur's Gate won that. So then that should show some respect. But in the Sony version this is bullshit. I'm going to make my own award show, and guess what? Baldur's Gate's not even in the finals.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's that kind of crap.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's Sony for you being big fucking sore baby losers about their stupid game not winning Game of the Year. Who gives a shit? It's not like it adds to sales. You don't win anything.
Yeah.
The best you get is someone in our development team fucking won something. Great. Move on to the next thing that's going to make us $1 billion, assholes.
Oh my god, that would be awesome though. They should have. I want some billionaire to create his own Game of the Year award, like the Elon Musk award.
Yeah,
I'm just using it because it's a rich person I can think of at the moment. Bill Gates award. I don't give a fuck. But just have it. Whoever wins Game of the Year, he will make any game you want to make at whatever cost you want it to be.
and that would be worth the award, right there.
Exactly, right?
Complaining that your game doesn't win and you don't get anything really from it, who gives a shit? Like, did Knights of the Old Republic win Game of the Year? I think they did because they had the Game of the Year edition for the box. So
I think so.
Maybe you get that special box, which no one buys fucking disc games anymore. So who gives a shit?
Yeah, I know.
I think it's funny. Like back in the day, it made sense because you got a little bit more sales from it, but now it's really nothing.
True.
Really,
I mean, a lot of people still are really protecting physical media, especially with a lot of people realizing that a lot of digital media says, like, when you purchase it, like, you're owning a license to this, you don't actually own a copy of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are fearful of that, but I feel like people are fearful of that in the wrong instances, because, like, when I see, like, stories of that happening, it's for things that 3 people have bought.
Yeah, but to be fair, they also don't get refunds. Like, that's the thing that really bugs me is, like, I've had games removed on Xbox before, and I'm like, why did this get removed? And it's like, the licensing agreement expired, and I'm like, do I get a refund for fucking my game that's not there anymore? And it turns out you don't, and I think that's the shitty part. I know we're going on a tangent, guys, but there's not a lot more to say about the game, so we're just going to tangent it up for a bit to extend our time a little bit for you. But yeah, I just think it's like, if the game developers are going to host the game and then pull the game developer should be on the hook for the amount of money people have spent on the game, right?
I mean, not necessarily, because, I mean, if you had 100, 300 hours of content, like, you put into a game, and then
but
all
what
of
if
a
you're
sudden you
still
don't have
playing
access
it?
I mean, yeah, it sucks, and I mean, they should at least, at that, I don't know, like, maybe it should be like an per instance base. Like, if you haven't touched the game in a year, then you don't get a refund, but if you play it every day, you do get a refund.
And I think that would be fair and perfectly fine. Most people don't notice when these games go off, and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, most people don't give a shit. But if it's a game you play a lot, you should be able to get a refund.
But I mean, at the same point, like, if it's a game you play every day and you bought it for $40 10 years ago, and all of a sudden you don't have it anymore, I would buy it again.
No, I would be pissed. I'd be like, why the fuck don't I have my $40 game that I bought?
Well, I would be a little, like, mad, and I would be mad that I'd have to spend another $40, but I would
also,
gladly do it again.
Remember, if they removed it from that platform, that means you don't get all the stuff you've done on that game. You'd have to buy it on a different platform. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
It sounds like fucking cheap shit they're trying to throw at us now. I don't understand why, but...
As long as you can still get the physical disc, that you can still access everything.
I still, like, on iTunes does this a lot, where you buy, like, a song on iTunes, and then they remove the song, but never refund you the money for what you paid for it. Well, that's still a fucking song I bought. I want my fucking $1.50 back, whatever I spent on it. I don't give a shit that it's $1.50. I give a shit that they're keeping money and not giving you the product for the money that you spent.
Or here's what they should do: give us a credit.
But they don't. That's the thing.
I know.
They don't.
Like, don't give us
weird.
a refund, like, so we can spend it on anything. But just give us a credit.
Yeah.
Like, let us spend money on other things you own or other properties that we might like of yours.
To me, it's always interesting. I don't quite understand why the corporations get away with doing that. I don't know why people aren't more pissed about it, because I would be pissed if that kept happening to me over time.
I mean, with most products in our life, we don't have the expectancy of it lasting our entire lifetime.
Which is true.
You're going to have to buy another desk. You're going to have to buy another chair. You're going to have to buy another couch, another refrigerator. So it is kind of funny that we expect that with video games.
Here's the thing that you just said. All those things that you named are meant to be worn down. Discs
I know.
are not, unless you don't take care of them. I have games from 20 years ago that still work fine because I just take care of them. I have a board game, that Balderdash game I have.
I know.
That was made in 1984. That's 40 years old today.
Yeah.
And that's still in perfect condition.
Yeah, I mean, you can take care of stuff. I get that.
Yeah.
You can keep stuff around a long time if you take care of it. I get that. I'm just saying, like, we have to buy things over again through most of everything we have to buy in life.
Things with moving parts you do, and things that naturally wear down per use you do. I don't agree with that with games. I don't think those wear down the same way that, like, a couch would.
I'm not saying they wear down the same way. I'm just saying, like, we are used to the process of having to buy things multiple times.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you're saying. Then they're wearing down. Those things we're buying multiple times are the things that are wearing down, Steven.
I get that they are wearing down. I'm not saying video games are wearing down.
I know, but you're comparing the things that do wear down to video games and saying that we buy them again.
Yes, it's different. I get that. I'm just...
The
whole point of that was just that we're used to spending the money on the same products over and over again.
Yes, I get what you're saying. I don't agree with it with video games. You don't have to
agree with it.
I think that they should be refunding our money. Or at least giving us a credit. At the very least, giving us a credit. And maybe cloud saving all of our fucking data if we played that game a lot.
I mean, with online games, like, when people shut down servers for games after 10, 20 years, a lot of gamers, like, I understand that. You've moved on to other projects. It's hard for you to keep dealing with that. But when they lose their physical media or they lose their digital copy of it, they don't have that same mentality of, oh, well, at least I did have 300 hours in that game, and I invested a lot of time. I have a lot of good memories. I love that. I support you guys moving on from the project.
I don't know.
But with digital media, it's like, you fucking took my shit. Give me my money back. I don't care that I spent 300 hours in that game, that I spent $40 worth, that I got, if you did the math on that, that's like 20 cents an hour for 300 hours. Like, who fucking cares? You got a lot of time out of it, and you spent very little money. And that's for the amount of entertainment you got per hour, that's a huge investment of awesome things. And yeah, it sucks that it's not there anymore and you can't keep doing it. But it's not like it's just gone forever. You could buy it again. You can find other ways to play the game.
Again, like, it's not the fact that the game is going away. It's the fact that they're not refunding it. That's the fact. That's the only thing that I care about. Because I feel like then they're just keeping your money. Because they're probably also not paying out the studio that money, too, because developers are kind of shitty with that.
I mean, if that was the case, though, like, at some point, like, the video game companies would never make any money if they had to refund all their mony back.
Well, it's not all of it. It's just when they lose the rights to a game.
Yes, but if they lose the right to the game and then have to give all the money back that they've already used on future projects and stuff that they got from those sales back then.
That's normal business. Like, if I bought bananas, like, you know when you buy a car and they do a recall on the car and you have to bring it in and they have to pay for the service on the car because they're doing the recall?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the same thing. They're
that's not
losing. They're
fully-
losing money on it because they made a mistake.
That's not
Like,
fully replacing the entire product. That's giving them
No.
a portion of the cost. It's fixing it. It's a
Yeah, it's
$2,000 fix as
yeah.
opposed to a $40,000 vehicle.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is that with 20 million cars. So in the
no,
end,
I'm
they're
just saying,
losing
like,
a shit
okay,
ton of money.
Maybe you don't get a full refund. You get the value of the game today.
Yeah, sure, that's fine too, as long as they're giving you something. But sometimes that could be bad too, because certain games have valued up rather than valued down.
So that's the gamble with it.
Yeah, but they won't do that at all. They'll just keep stealing your money and then removing the games. The problem is it's
still your money. You
well,
spent it.
it's a slippery slope because eventually they're going to do this whole thing where, like, these partnerships are kind of getting ridiculous. We know that. We know that
Yeah.
Microsoft has games that only Microsoft gets, and Sony has games
Yeah.
only Sony gets. Well, what if that suddenly flips?
What do you mean?
What if, like, a big fucking publisher of games flips from Microsoft to Sony, and they had made, like, 20 games, so everybody loses 20 popular games in their library?
Well, you're not gonna lose because it's not that you don't lose your game if it gets taken off of the console.
If it gets taken off of the store, but that's what the removing rights is. So some of the rights specifically say the hosting brand can't be X. That's why they remove those games, because they lose their hosting rights.
Mm.
So that hosting is the big thing. So if that popular publisher moves over to a different brand, is it fair to say that everyone has to buy those 20 games again? Or should Xbox refund because they give out these bullshit digital copies because that's what they're going towards, where they don't give you, like, rights to your games? I mean, or the simple solution is just give you a fucking right to your game, I guess, right?
I mean, but I feel like you still, like, the servers are still there, even if it's not being able to be purchased anymore to be able to play.
Yeah, well,
And
so
I
it's
don't
not
think,
that
like,
you
they're gonna
can't
shut-
play it. Again, it's the hosting thing. So the reason they're losing games, like PlayStation did it because they lose a lot of hosting rights over the years. But they've done it the most. I think they're the biggest one out of all the people because they purposely don't pay their developers any money and then expect them to keep churning out games. But they'll lose the hosting right for a game, and that's where that game gets removed from your library, because it's not that they can't buy it on Sony anymore, is that they're not allowed to host it in their libraries.
Okay, I've never seen any instance of that ever happening.
I'll
so
send
I
you the
guess-
video. I watched a whole video
Okay.
on this. It was like, since 2010 they've removed, like, I think it was like 2,000 or 3,000 games. It was pretty intense listening to it, and it's not great games, like you said. They're kind of shitty games that no one gives a
Yeah.
shit about. But it's an escalation, because then I think they lost, like, a mid-tier game, like a mid-size kind of deal, and people were fucking pissed. So, and it's because they don't really pay their people.
Yeah.
Most people are fine with it because they get paid, but Sony's like this kind of shitty brand that doesn't pay their people. Oh,
I
no.
mean, I don't really know about the way they do their business. I just whatever.
Clearly not great, since they're losing customers every day.
I mean, fair.
I think if we were to compare them in 2005, Sony would have been like top of the game. And if you
Sony's
compare
been
them,
top of the game for a long time.
but
so
today
it's-
I would argue that they are near the bottom almost. I'd say Nintendo's almost taken over that top spot, and Xbox is like right behind them.
I don't know. I mean,
So Sony still spews out some real good shit, but they
yeah.
don't do the same cool stuff that Nintendo and Xbox are doing.
I just feel like everyone's going in completely different directions now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's as much direct comparisons anymore, because it's like, all right, you got the single player adventure, you got the family friendly console, and then you got the party multiplayer console.
Yeah,
where
well,
you can
not
play the
with
most
that
games for
aspect.
the cheapest amount with the most amount of people.
We've talked about this before. How long did it take PlayStation to get like a Play Store?
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, Xbox had Game Pass for a long time. Nintendo's doing the thing where you could pay like the extra $2 for their GameCube games and Nintendo 64 and Game Boy game, all that crap. The PlayStation took a really long time to get to that, and then it's not the greatest after getting
But I
to it.
mean, to the same extent, Xbox doesn't have a way for you to purchase games through their app. PlayStation does.
That's true, but I mean, that's not as big of a deal. No one cares about
No, it's not, but I really enjoy it because I can buy a game while I'm at work or something, and then I can actually set it to download before I get home.
I can buy a game while I'm at work and not play it, and then download it, and then play it maybe?
That way I can have it, like, if I buy a game on lunch and it takes 2 hours to download it, I can have it preset to go download onto my
because
PlayStation.
PlayStation does that bullshit standby thing, right? They're never truly off.
Yeah,
They're
you can
always
set it.
watching you.
Well, no, it's just like the Xbox. Both the Xbox and the PlayStation both have the same feature of you can have it in a sleep mode or you can have it in just completely turned off. Yeah. And it's 2 different settings for the completely turned off. There's the turned off where you can still do things through the app to turn it on or to download a game, or there's the off where you can't do anything.
Yeah. Again, I don't really care about that. I've never looked at Xbox and said, I wish I had an app for this.
I do all the time.
No, never. Not once. I don't think I've ever said that. What do you guys think? If you guys think that Xbox need an app, email us. I'm very curious now because I don't know if I've ever even cared about that before.
Just like PlayStation needs to have a button in their store to be able to buy games as a gift. Xbox does what PlayStation doesn't.
No, I don't know. I don't ever buy games as a gift.
I do. I've done it for tons of people.
For tons. For everyone I know. I bought this 1-cent game. Everyone.
I think I've bought...
I'm going to send you a 1-cent game tomorrow on Steam.
Sounds great.
Find the worst game I could find on there. I'm sure
and then I'll make you play it.
There's got to be a couple 1-cent games on there.
Probably.
All right. Well,
so we should get back to the shit.
Well, so story. That's it. The story's over. There's nothing else.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
There's literally nothing. Guys, this story is it is a little unfortunate. Like I said, that there's not a lot going on. You want more, but you don't get it. And I'm sure that has something to do with their development team being so tiny and only being one developer. Where a lot of games now take multiple developers in order to get the entirety of the game completed in a very time frame of 2 years. But man, did you want this story just leaves you wanting, which sucks. It really does suck because you're I want more fucking anything.
As much as I say it sucks, which there is a feeling of it does.
Yeah,
kind of like with the ending of the new Spider-Verse movie. You're just that gut punch of this is just a part 1. I have to wait for the rest of this. This sucks, but at the same point, I am sitting with anticipation for the next one, and I'm going to buy it. And that's the thing, though. It does build anticipation in a great way. So as much as it sucks, I also I understand why they might have done it that way. And for a small development team, doing a shorter game with a lot less in it, and if it does really well, then boom, they can do a ton more and get more in depth in the story next one. So we just have to really support this game to hope that it gets a sequel.
Hopefully,
so we can get more story.
Roll 7 was that the Roll 7?
Roll 7,
yeah. Roll 7 just decides to make another. I mean, they made 6 Ollie games, so I don't doubt they'll make another one of these.
Exactly, especially because this game is getting a decent amount of praise from people.
You know what someone should make?
What's that?
Instead of making a real skateboard game, make one about the finger skateboards.
That would be amazing.
That'd be the stupidest thing ever. You'd be like, it's just a skateboard game, only your fingers are controlling it.
I actually saw a awesome skateboard trick from a pro skateboarder recently where he did this grind, but while he was grinding, he did the tech deck grind on his skateboard as well. He had a bar on the skateboard and he did the little grind with his tech deck as well.
God.
And then he ended with the same kickflip off with the tech deck as he did with himself. It was really cool.
I remember the commercials for those and have the little fingers on them and they're like, you love skateboarding, you're gonna love this, and everyone's like, that's not skateboarding.
But dude,
it was addicting, I will say
fun.
that. Yeah, it was addicting. But it's really funny that they're like, this is the same as skateboarding. You're like, no, it's not. Shut the fuck up.
No, but it was entertaining as shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on.
All right.
It's time for reviews.
All right. So, in honor of all of you out there who might be little bitch boys just like me, we are reading reviews that you might have written to see if you are a little bitch boy or valid with your arguments.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We'll start with a positive one, because why the fuck not?
All right, little bitch boy. Review.
I'm always the little
Move
bitch
on.
boy. All right. I don't know how this one slipped under my radar, but I'll need to do some repairs to fix it, because I should have played this one ASAP. Tony Hawk meets Vanquish in this hyper-stylized arena shooter game that can be brutally difficult, but really rewarding to learn. Pure gameplay at its finest.
I like how their comparison is Tony Hawk and Vanquish. That's cool.
Right?
Vanquish
didn't
is a
think
little
Vanquish
bit,
at all.
yeah, no, and I wouldn't say Vanquish still, but I like the comparison.
Yes, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go to a bad review now. This game seemed absolutely incredible, and I enjoyed what time I spent with it. However, I'm a fairly motion sick person, so I was unable to really play this game as I became very, very dizzy. And I'd say unless you're extremely motion sick, go ahead. This game is a joy, even just in a tutorial sequence.
How many stars is that?
That's I think a 1-star review.
That's a
and
1-star. They say this game rocks, but I'm a fucking moron. And then it's a 1-star. Fuck that
Well,
person.
it's a negative review. It doesn't say what the star rating. It just says negative or positive.
All right, well, that's bullshit. That shouldn't be a negative review. That should be, I'm a little fucking bitch boy. Literally,
I mean,
they
he
should have.
did say, like, if it wasn't for
No,
my motion
because
sick,
he-
I would have played.
He
But you
gave
should have given a
negative.
positive
Yeah,
review.
they should have
Yeah.
given a positive review then if you like the fucking game. I think
Yeah,
they should put
exactly.
a little bitch boy segment in
Like-
there. It's either negative, positive, or you're a little bitch boy.
Seriously, though, because it's like, give it a positive review if you think it's a good game, and you're recommending it. You shouldn't recommend a game if you're going to give it a negative
Yeah,
review.
that's wild. I can't believe that person did that. Fuck that person.
It's a little weird. It's
Yeah,
a little
that
weird.
person can go to fucking hell. Like, ruining a game's fucking star
don't give this
rating.
negative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and it ruins the game's star rating. And then if someone looks at that review and says, well, I wonder if I'm motion sick. Well, I better not play. Like, some idiot's gonna fucking do that. Like, why
Some
even
guy's
give a
gonna
review?
be like, I just played Amnesia, so if I couldn't handle that, I probably can't handle this.
People in your fucking motion sickness, stop being little bitches.
Hey, I agree. And I was one of those motion sick bitches.
Yeah.
Alright, another negative review. It's a game for those people who always want to improve their high score. I am not one of those persons. And also, it's not Tony Hawk with guns. It's an arena shooter with never-ending waves of enemies on roller skates. That's a huge difference.
What is this person? Who are these people? Who are they? What are they talking
this one's
about?
Mr. White.
I don't understand because, like, normally you say something about the mechanics of the game when you give it a negative review.
Yeah.
So far, it's like, this is not my kind of game, rather than like,
Yeah.
I hated this segment of the game so much I had to put it down and then bash my head through a wall. Like,
Like,
what the
if you
fuck
didn't do-
is going on?
If you didn't do the research on the game to know what the game was enough before you bought it to not like the gameplay at all, like, but you're not even saying anything negative about it. You're just
No.
like, I don't like trying to get a high score.
Yeah, like, and also the fact that you're basically reviewing the fact that people are calling it Tony Hawk with guns.
Yeah, but also to the
What the
same
fuck
extent,
are you doing?
what extreme sports game does not keep score?
Yeah, literally, which one? Yeah, every single fucking one does. Every single one.
Everyone that has any sort of trick system
Yeah.
has a scoring system along with those trick systems.
Because you want to score as you do a fucking combo.
Yes, you want
Ugh.
bigger and bigger numbers. That's exactly what all of those games are for.
I'm not a high score person, but
Definite little bitch boy. What
yeah,
the
little
shit?
fucking bitch boy. These people are fucking weird.
Alright. Another negative review. Interesting premise, cool aesthetic, decent gameplay loop, but in my opinion, the game is held back by its focus on challenges, which leads to it feeling more tedious than anything. Not difficult by any means, just a chore. Not the worst if you want to get on it sale, but definitely not at its full price. Strongly prefer the devs' other game, Ollie Ollie, to this one.
All right, well, you know what? That was a real review. That's the only real review we've read so far. He's saying,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I feel like this game's really good if only it didn't have challenges. Like, if that's what he thinks. Again, it's like Tony Hawk, so of course there's going to be challenges in it. You know, fucking that snowboard game had the same thing that we played.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say the same thing, though, kind of. Like, if you don't research the game and know that it's going to be, like, focused on
but
challenges...
The difference is he played the game probably all the way through and then
True.
said the challenges were the most annoying part. But other than
Yeah.
that, like, and it's probably a negative review. It sounds like a 3-star review to me instead of a 5-star, you know?
Probably.
And
yeah,
I hope that's the way that they do it.
probably. All right. So this one, I don't even know if this is like a half positive, half negative review.
Okay.
Got
It's
a little
been so far
checklist.
all of them. So
This is it's literally like checklist style with green checks or red X's.
yeah.
Combined skating and third-person shooting. Check. Adrenaline rush gameplay. Check. 4 different weapons. Check. Dazzling art style. Good soundtrack. Highly customizable assets available to make this game easier. The wrongs. Gameplay gets insanely difficult way too quickly. The difficulty rapidly spikes after each stage to the point you're unable to process without turning on assist, which are a godsend in this game. This game feels very unbalanced and unfair after the first few stages. Enemies do not have clear indicator, can be difficult to spot. No remaining number of enemies indicator. Most of the time you'll be dodging hundreds of enemies' attacks. Enemies have annoying advantages like being able to be instantly teleport after taking damage, and they can hit you from anywhere, and they also have invulnerability periods.
Alright, so his cons are the
You're not very
story of
good
the
at
game.
video games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what's weird is all of that's explained, like the big spike in difficulty is explained because they
Yeah.
want to root out the people who aren't very good.
They're literally trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's the point of the game, so it's really funny that he's complaining about it, but it's also funny, he's like, I think people shouldn't have powers. It should just be you killing, like, grunts the entire game, so it should be really easy.
Yeah, like, and then it's kind of weird, like, he's talking about, I didn't even know there was assist that you could turn on in the game.
No,
I
yeah,
never even looked
I wasn't
for
aware
it.
of
Like,
that,
I
but
never got to a
I'm
point
guessing
that I
it's
was
because
like,
they don't have a difficulty rating in this game, so they're like,
Yeah.
okay, really bad players are going to need assists, so we're going to let them have their
True.
fucking assist, and then they're still going to whine about it in our review section, so just get ready for that, guys.
true.
Amazing. I do agree with him on the counter, though. The enemy counter would have been really nice.
All right. This is kind of a fun one. I'm being trailed by 3 lasers. A swarm of missiles are closing in, and there are landmines everywhere. But none of this matters until I land my 720 pretzel grab front flip.
It's so true. It makes a 720 all the more worth it, okay?
Oh, we have to shit on this one a lot. Just saying that right out of the gate
Okay.
before I even read this one. This one starts out highly negative review and wanted and got a refund. Female protagonist. So it's come to this in games about extreme sports pioneered by Tony Hawk series, SSX, BMX games, etc. Now the feminist shave stolen the show. Nowhere on the Steam store it says that in this game you are forced to play as a female. I assumed you can play as a guy like any decent game. Answer is no. So I'm giving this game a negative review. Also, nowhere on the store page it says you gotta play this game with a gamepad. The keyboard controls for this game are absolutely terrible.
Okay, well, I play most games with the gamepad. Hey, I'm gonna start there. If you want to play it, if you're really good at keyboard, which some people are, do it with keyboard. If you're not, do not play with a keyboard because you will get fucked every time.
Yep.
B, what the fuck are we even talking about? There are plenty of games where you only play as a woman. Who gives a shit?
No,
Like,
seriously, and why the fuck does that matter?
Like, no woman goes out there and complains, why the fuck am I playing as a depressed guy in this game? Like, what was that game we played where you're trying to figure out which girl you want to date? It's got the girl's name as the title. Starts with a C,
Gosh.
maybe Catherine?
Oh yeah, Catherine.
Yeah, you don't get a choice in that game of what you fucking play. You play as a lonely guy who's depressed and like a little bitch the entire fucking game. Do you think any female went out being like, I'd rather play as one of the women who are fucking awesome, it seems like.
No, but seriously, like, it's such a weird complaint. It's so just anti. It's so
it's just some
misogynist
lonely
in
guy.
every
So,
way.
have you heard about these incels? You know what an
I mean,
incel is?
I've heard the word a lot, but I don't know if I know the actual definition.
It's an
So-
involuntary celibate.
Okay.
They're a celibate because of their own genetic bullshit is off, they think. Like,
Oh, okay.
it's like basically they blame women for only wanting big, strong men with perfect like chins and shit. Like, it's really funny. But this guy sounds like he is probably in that incel crowd because he's a fucking piece of shit.
He just sounds like he hates women.
Yeah, that's
like
what
it's just.
Guess what the incels do?
I mean, there's a lot of other people out there that just
They're
yes.
almost all saying they're incels now,
I'm
dude.
not
Almost
saying you're
all.
wrong.
They're
I'm just
crazy.
saying like I don't know much about that stuff, so
Yeah, it does sound like he hates women, and it also sounds like he's uncomfortable playing as a woman. Maybe he's just like stupid.
which, I mean, that's just a weird thing to complain about, and it's
Yeah.
not like the
Also, roller skating, I think, is
They
a
don't
majority
focus-
woman sport. By the way,
yeah, World Roller Derby is pretty much the only thing that's still popular in rollerblading. and
yeah. Well, it's not
pretty
even
much-
blading; it's roller skating. It's such
Well,
a
yeah, it's
different
skating.
thing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general.
You're right.
Like,
You're right. You're right.
that is all women. Only women roller skate. Men don't do it.
well, men do it for like the dance like the roller skating, like
Yeah, I
dance
guess,
competition,
but like
the
even
soul.
then, like it's mostly women.
Yeah,
I don't understand what this guy is complaining of. They picked a sport that's majority fucking women. I mean, it'd be different if he's like,
it's
I
also
can't
a
believe they
made-up
made
sport.
Yeah, it's a made up sport, but like, if they picked football
No.
and made it all women, I still think that would be fucking sweet. But I can get his complaint then, right? Because then at least you already have like a sense in your mind, like, well, football's majority men, so why would they only put women in there?
I mean, if he bought the lingerie football league and then complained about it not having a guy character in it, I would.
Yeah,
be like, what the
I'd
fuck's
be
wrong
pissed.
with you?
Yes, but if he was complaining about like Madden and they did an all-female version, at least you could understand where he's coming from. Because yes, it is a majority men's sport.
I mean,
You could at least understand it. So I'm not agreeing
I say
with him.
no because of this. It doesn't matter to the story at all,
It really doesn't.
and it's
But
not
I'm just
focused
saying,
on at all. Like
to
you don't
agree
ever pay
with him-
attention to your character.
To even show a semblance of agreement, like to even understand where he's coming from, that's what they would have to do. But what he did here was just say, I'm mad. Mommy spanked me when I was little, and now I hate women! That's all he's doing.
Pretty much.
What a weird fucking thing to do. What a weird guy.
But
These
I
people-
got one other really
These
fun
guys
review.
all suck, Steven. All of these guys suck. They're all
This
bad
is
at
a good one.
reviewing.
This is
Better
a
be
fun one.
amazing.
You might think this one is amazing. It's like Max Payne and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater had a baby, but Max Payne cheated with Jet Set Radio Future, and it's actually their baby, but Tony Hawk Pro Skater doesn't know. The kid has been heavily influenced by his childhood friends Pathless, Hades, and Sable, and then the boy graduated Hotline Miami College and married Doom Eternal, whose ex was Project Wingman.
The fuck? Jesus, yeah, that's good. Although
I
I
was like-
disagree with him, I think it's more like Mad Max and Tony Hawk. Well, you know, whatever.
It is, and he does say that, but
No,
then
he
he
does.
also
He says
brings in
Max
Jet Set
Payne.
Radio Future. Oh, it's not Mad Max though. You keep, God damn it! You got me fucking twisted with that
Yeah.
shit.
It should be like Mad Max.
Fucking Bugs Bunny me with that shit.
Yep.
No, it's Max Payne.
Yep.
I hate
like
that they're
that
both
one.
Max.
That was the best one. That's a good one to
Oh, yeah,
finish
best
on.
review,
The other
best
ones
review.
were all shit. The other ones were literally garbage.
But yeah, that's what I got for that. So I guess it's time to move on to the last section.
Worth or not?
So, what do you think for the game?
I'm gonna go Worth. Honestly, this game was a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
fun. I loved it. I didn't have a point where I just had to put it down because I was annoyed. Like this game.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could just get as soon as you learn the controls and understand like how to switch your weapons well
Yes.
and which enemies need to be taken down with which weapons, you do a
Yes.
really good job, and you're just stuck doing this for hours.
Seriously though.
Like,
And,
this is
definitely
first Tony
finding
Hawk
the weak
level.
points. Yeah, like this is so good. I really want more.
Yeah.
Like, I was almost sad that there is so few levels.
Yeah.
And like I totally understand it, but I need a sequel.
Or some DLC to add some more fucking shit in
Yes.
there. Either way,
Seriously though,
roll
this
7, get the
game-
fuck on it.
This game's brilliant. This game's just it's so fun to play. It's so beautiful. It's so interesting, and does have like a little bit of a learning curve to it, but once you've learned the mechanics of this game, it is so smooth, and
Yeah.
it is like it's fun to watch. Even like Jen was like sat there and watching me one time, and she's like, "Holy shit, you're getting like really good at this game!" Like the way just like dodging missiles and then like shooting someone in the head and then doing a 720 pretzel grab while laser shotting someone from across the map, landing
doing-
on a landmine and then dodging it before it explodes.
And doing your
It's fucking
super,
awesome.
whatever, and getting
super
one more
reflex mode?
or one more shot off.
Oh god, it's so fucking satisfying when you get good combos and shit going in this game.
Yeah.
And when you get a really good run going, it is so fucking satisfying.
Yeah, one thing we didn't mention, sorry, we forgot to mention, is the only way you reload in this game is you do tricks, and that's the reason you do tricks in here.
Yep, you have to get more ammunition.
Yeah,
By doing,
so
yeah.
if you do tricks, you get reloaded. If you don't do tricks, you're going to die.
Yes.
So, just so you guys know. But yeah, this game's completely worth it. Guys, seriously, it's on Game Pass if you have Game Pass.
Yes.
Go play it, it's fun. It's awesome.
And it's only like $20, and if it's on sale, like $15-$10.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
go
buy
for
it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool game. So,
All right.
Yeah, that was this week's game.
Wahoo!
We did it.
Next week,
we have John Wick.
Hex. Yep.
Hex is an Hecks. Hex.
No.
Yes.
Hex is an Hex.
No.
For cross country.
No. No, like what the heck?
What the heck?
It's John Wick. What the heck?
I want that to be the title now.
Me too.
All
right,
yes,
guys.
please join us for that one.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.